we're a series that explores a great, let's say, North African Spanish Rabbanim, and the Rabbi Rachamim Xayim Oplatka very much was part of, let's say, Sephardic Jewry, especially during the mid-1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s respectively. He was the son of a very, very great rabbi who was the founder of the Dורש, the ציון Torah school in Jerusalem. His father's name was Rabbi Oplatka. The family actually originated from the Czechoslovakia, from the Republic of the Czech, respectively. He was born at some period during the 1800s, Rabbi Rachamim was, and he passed away, I believe, in the year 1907. So he was a great rabbi. He went on to become a great educator, teacher in Jerusalem, and part of the Talmud Torah, Dורש, ציון, very famous, let's say, Talmud Torah. We're going to expound on that. And he would head the Talmud Torah after his father, Rabbi Oplatka, passed away. He would be very, very much involved within regards to that. He would take on various different travellings around Israel, and especially in Jerusalem. I think especially he would chronicle his travellings when he visited the kever, the burial plot of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai in Meron in the early days himself, and wrote a book called Masa'ei HaYereach, which we're going to talk about in the coming moments. That was printed in the year 1876. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life over there. So very, very interesting. Okay, so Rabbi Oplatka came from great rabbinic heritage. His father was Rabbi Yitzchak, and I believe the family would actually travel, make aliyah to the land of Israel, from Prague, from the Czech Republic, to Jerusalem over there. His mother's name was Vida Chana, Rabbanit Vida Chana. I think she was a daughter of another great rabbi, Rabbi Baruch Ayash, who was a very, very famous rabbi in Jerusalem. So he came from very great rabbinic heritage, and he was, let's just say, half Ashkenazi and half Sephardi, I believe. And his father, in of itself, was very, very much connected, let's just say, to the Sephardi community once he came to Jerusalem from Prague, and learned Ladino, and would adopt the tefillah of the Sephardi tefillah, in of itself, the Sephardic liturgy, and really was very much part of the community. He would then go on to become a medic. I think his father became a medic in the hospital of Rothschild, Mayor Rothschild, and he was very much connected at that point in time to Moses Montefiore. And I think come up the year 1866, his father Rabbi Yitzchak would found the Talmud Torah called the Dורש ציון Talmud Torah in Jerusalem. It was meant to cater for both Sephardim and Ashkenazim, but it would become later on primarily a Sephardi Talmud Torah. Also, now there was, let's just say, there was some opposition to this school. This school system would be learning a lot of Torah throughout the day, Gemara, Chumash, extensive Torah, but would also branch out with teaching a trade. So I think there was a rabbi from the Orbach family that wasn't necessarily so for the Talmud Torah coming ahead, but being his name, it did get founded, and it would last from the year 1970. And so it was about nearly 80 years, I think, in the Blumenfeld complex at that time. And many great Sephardi rabbanim, along with Rabbi Oplatka, would be very much part of the founding it. I think it was involved, one of the heads at that time was Rabbi David Ben Shimon, who would be the author of the famous book called the Tzuf HaDvash. And I would recommend everyone to learn about it. But his son, so we're speaking about Rabbi Rachamim Oplatka. He would become a rabbi in this Talmud Torah over there, and an educator over there, very much be part of this place in Jerusalem. He loved Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Rachamim did. He had a passion for it in of itself, and would love to publicize beauty about the land of Israel. Now, later on, he would become, which we're going to talk about, he would become the head of the institution. I think after his father passed away in the year 1900, he would become the head of the Dורש ציון, I believe. But he would do a lot of travellings, and he would go to Meron, the area of Meron. I think in 1876, he would go with, I think, his mother at that point in time, and they would go travel along with donkeys at that point in time. That was from Jerusalem to Meron, and he chronicled, I think, his journey in of itself. The journey going towards the kever of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. He spoke about the kafari biyiri al bira in of itself. We will speak about that. Also the orta or avarta. I think this is where there was various great Jewish figures were buried at different stages of Jewish history. And the kafara balata, think that's where the kever of Yosef, I believe, happens to be. And then Shechem, obviously very famous place. Here, the famous city over there. He travelled around the Jewish places of that point in time. I think that was very much connected. He had like various different monies. Let's just say lots of big Knesset, they travelled over there, and the different parts of Shechem in of itself. I think he would go to Shomron, if I'm not mistaken, and he would, I think, I think that was he would go to the place where Jacob, our prophet, Jacob, our forefather, when the Avot would travel in. He would go to Jenin in a part of his travels and talk about that, and also Zera'in or Yazra'el, as we call it, the Kafar Chitin, he would travel to. He would go to Tiberias. Tiberias is one of the 4 holy cities of Israel over there, and I think at that point in time there were several thousand Jewish people that were living over there. Most of the people were from North Africa, from those different places in itself. And I think there were some Ashkenazim who were living in Tiberias at that point in time. It chronicles the different places, and it chronicles, I think, about the Chametz-Beri, the hot springs of Tiberias. He would visit Tzfat, another holy city over there. Well, I think at that point in time there was 40,000 Jewish people in of itself. I'll have to double check. But I think there was some Ashkenazim living there at that point in time, maybe about 5,000, and I think at that point in time Rav Shmuel Abu would be the head of Tzfat, if I'm not mistaken, the head rabbi there, so he would chronicle that. He would also visit Akko, also over there, and talk about his time period over there. And I think there was a Turkish prison over there at that point in time. Haifa, he would visit over there, where more Jewish people were living in. He would chronicle, I think, mostly Sephardic Jewish people, if I'm not mistaken. He would go from Haifa and visit Yaffo, also over there, and would travel through. I think there was a Mikveh Yisrael Bet Sefer that was situated over there. He would chronicle all about that in of itself, and he would spend some time over there. So he was very, very much attached. This book will come out. I think all these travellings will be published in his book, the Maseh Bahak Chovava, as you pronounce it. I think he gives a perush on the name. The Yerach was a Rosh Tevot of his name, Yosef Rachamim Chayim. So that is his name. Bahak was that Rosh Tevot. The bet is Be'eretz. The word Chovava is Rosh Tevot, let's just say, of Tivneh B'Tochnan B'Mhera B'Yameinu Amen. He yearned for the rebuilding of the Bet. I'm not too sure on the exact date of when he passed away, when his Hilula is. He very much was a rabbi, was very much connected to the Sephardi community in Jerusalem. Our friends were a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. If you descend from any of the great Chachamim we're speaking about, please send me an email. I'd love to hear more. Please subscribe to the channel. Now we're nearing 7,000 subscribers. If anyone's interested in watching these videos, share the videos to other people also. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.